Now that we've got a much better sense on the basics of Go, so some of the ideas behind packages and import statements and whatnot, we're going to move on to our very first real project. So our project that we're going to work on is going to be a package that's going to simulate playing around with a deck of playing cards. And so when I say playing cards, I'm talking specifically about the same type of cards we would play blackjack or gin rummy or go fish or poker with. So things like the ace of spades, the two of hearts, the three of diamonds, and so on. Now the package that we create is going to have a couple of different functions inside of it that we are going to create to simulate messing around with a deck of cards. So let's go through a couple of these different functions and their purposes. The first function that we make is going to be something called new deck. Whenever we call this, it will create a new deck of playing cards, which we're going to imagine is essentially like an array of strings or a list of strings, where each element in this array is going to represent one single playing card. Now, of course, we haven't spoken about arrays or strings or anything like that with Go just yet, so we are definitely going to have to do some definite legwork here, even with this very first function. Once we have the ability to create a new deck, I then want the ability to print out a list of all the cards inside of a deck. I want to have the ability to shuffle all the cards inside of it. And I also want the ability to deal a hand of playing cards out of the deck. So with deal right here, imagine that if we make a new deck and it has 52 cards inside of it, if I then deal out of that deck, let's say I deal out 5 playing cards, I would then expect to have one list of playing cards of 5 cards, and then the remaining other 47 cards that I had dealt from. Finally, I want to figure out how we can take a deck and save it to a file on our local hard drive, and then later fetch a file or fetch a deck that we had previously saved to our hard drive. So essentially writing information and retrieving information from the hard drive. So this is definitely going to be a pretty fun project that we're going to work on, and we're going to learn a tremendous more about how to write Go code and common design patterns. So let's take a quick break. When we come back in the next section, we're going to generate a new package, or we're going to make a new folder to house our new package, I should say, to put together all the code for this cards project. So quick break, and we'll get started in just a moment.